Hi Go Run Girls, Coach Maree here. I'm at Tarawera 2019 and I'm joined today with Meghan Laws. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Pre-race, so you're racing the 102 tomorrow?
I am.
Yes. And Meghan is no stranger to Tarawera. You came here a few years ago and then you couldn't run because of the cyclone.
The race was cut short. We did 65K rather than 100K.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was a different, we had to start in town and go away and then do a loop and come back.
Yeah.
So this will be the whole course and I'm looking forward to seeing it and without a cyclone.
Yes, we've got beautiful weather actually here at the moment. I've just done the 20K and it was just stunning. Got a little bit hot, but because of the forest, it was beautiful and amazing. So yeah, I can imagine the 102 is just going to be fantastic. So Meghan, I was speaking to Paul Charteris and he said that I must interview you. You're right up there and you've done a lot in your career. Can you share something with me that's probably the highlight of your running?
I would have to say that having 12 Western States 100-mile finishes is probably the 12 most, that body of work is probably to me the most important. That's my favorite race in the world. Yeah, it's always been my focus, like all the time. So.
And it's on your doorstep, so
yes,
you run there for your training as well.
Yeah.
And you did 10 that were within the 24 hours?
I've done, all of them have been under 24 hours. 10 of them were top 10 female.
Okay, yeah. Oh wow, that's incredible. So you also coach women, which I want to kind of get into because I do that as well. And I think that it's just so important that you give things a go, and there will be a lot of girls on here that can't even fathom doing 100K. And what that looks like and how do you get into the training for that. What would be your biggest piece of advice to someone who is looking at going further, going maybe for the 50 and then the 75, then the 100?
I would say there's nothing magical about your body that prevents you from doing these things. And I had a friend once who did Ironman, and I was still kind of new to the whole competitive running and sports and stuff, and I was just so stunned because she's just kind of this tiny little woman and she does Ironman, and she said, well, if I can do it, you can do it. And I think that that's a really good thing to remember. It's like, I can do this, you can do this. We all start somewhere. I started from 0 to doing 5Ks, and I eventually did some 10Ks. And in the meantime, I had a small child, and I raised my child, and I would fit the running in when I could. And by going gradually, I added distance gradually, so it never felt like I'm going from 0 to 26 miles, or, everything has a nice slow pace to it. And by having I don't even think I had a long-term vision about where I was going with my running. I just knew that I loved it and that it made me feel good, and fitness was good, and I was healthy, and I was intrigued by further distances and races because I do like competition. But just taking it a day at a time and a step at a time. We're kind of all born with legs and hearts and lungs, and they all know how to run, and it's just a matter of being patient.
Do you follow a plan?
I do, and sometimes it gets a little disorganized, like when I had this Hong Kong race show up that I was doing 3 weeks ago. I had to adjust my plan, but I do have I do follow a plan. I've had 3 coaches, and now I coach others, and so I write my own plan.
How does that work for you? I thought, because I've got a 74 coming up, and I thought I should really be writing my own plan, but will I stick to it because I've written it? So how does it work for you?
I usually follow it pretty well, and what happened is I was being coached when I started coaching, and I realized that some of the plan that I would get, I thought, I think I would do that a little differently, knowing myself, and again, because I have a lot of experience. And I kind of realized that I was just too lazy to write my own plan. And I was writing everyone else's, and I thought, you know, it's not that hard, I can write my own plan.
Yeah.
And so I do, and I don't usually have a problem following it. I'm much better now at not following it if I'm tired.
Yes.
You know, I tend to do like what a lot of people do, and it's maybe like over plan a little bit, like make it a little too beefy.
Yes.
But now I'm good at like, that's too much.
Yeah.
And backing off. Yeah.
Do you find that now you can train on less miles? If that makes sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I believe that I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, I think
You just get to know your body a bit more.
yeah, and you start to respect recovery, and I think at some point you do sort of reach this level where there's diminishing return if you go even further, and then if you back off a little bit, it really doesn't matter that much. I don't have any data to back this, but I feel like so much of the long miles we do in training is really training your brain to overcome what you're feeling and the desire to stop and be done, and that you don't really need to do a lot of that once you've gotten the brain conditioned to do it.
Okay.
And again, I don't know if there's any data on this, but that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of evidence that people can do well with less miles than definitely than with too many. Less is better.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with nutrition, do you follow a plan? Are you on a special
No,
diet?
I've sort of, I've been through the years like in the 80s and the 90s when there's, a new diet every week, and so you dabble with this and that to try to, I don't know what. I was a vegetarian for a number of years, but I grew up on a farm growing, eating what we grew. And that has been what I've gone back to, is eating what is local and what I'm used to eating. And it needs to be, whole foods. I don't like to buy processed foods or eat processed foods. I like to make as much as I can from scratch, but I keep it pretty simple.
Yeah.
And that has worked for me really well.
And when did you actually start running?
In my 20s.
In your 20s?
Yeah. I did sports in high school, and did basketball and volleyball, and I ran track, but only short distances. And when team competition gets harder to participate in when you're out of school, and I missed the opportunity to compete because I am curious about what I can do, and I find if I'm in a competitive situation, I'm going to push myself harder than if I'm just out doing something on my own. So I find it satisfying to get out and find, if you're pushing really hard at the end of a race and there's someone right next to you or right behind you, you find out really how hard you can work, and I like that.
Yeah, I heard you talking in the panel.
Yeah.
Saw that come out.
Yeah.
Do you have any mantras that you want to share with the girls? What comes in your head when you've got a really tough time in a run?
One of them is toes up, because I tend to fall down a lot, and that's no fun. It kind of hurts and kind of jars your body, and then you've got bloody knees and whatever. So sometimes it's just toes up. I think that's my one for right now.
That's a lot of races with toes up.
It is. Yeah. It is, and the more technical is like, toes up. I used to have more mantras, but I think maybe now I don't need them as much. I'm just kind of gonna keep moving forward, and
So what's coming up for you? So you've got Tarawera.
In end of April, I'll run in the Canyons 100K, which is in California, and it's actually on the Western States course, and it's one of the golden ticket races, and there are only 5 of those, and those are really competitive races, and they allow the top 2 finishers a spot in Western States, and I don't have a spot because I was not top 10 last year. It's top 2, but it goes down to the 5th runner if the runners above you decline the spot or already have a spot.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's a bit of a chance I can get into Western States. If I don't, that's fine. I will be there and will be pacing and crewing and supporting and volunteering. It's just a huge event, and it's really fun to be at, whether you're in the race or not. And then I have the end of May, there's another race in France called the Volvic Volcanic Experience. and I'm gonna go to do that.
Is that just like that?
No, it's actually another runnable 100K.
Okay.
It's in the volcanic region of France, but it looks pretty runnable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, I don't know yet. Don't know what the rest of the year's gonna be like.
So yeah, I guess just any other advice you would offer?
I would say just
Share your
make,
wisdom.
I think especially for moms, carve out some time for yourself. 30 minutes, 4 times a week. Find that 30 minutes 4 times a week, even if it means you get up 30 minutes earlier or something. It will make a huge difference in your life, and your kids and your partner will appreciate that. And just to be healthy and set that example, it's a good place to start.
Yeah.
And you've got years and years ahead of you to let things happen gradually, but just try to make it a habit of just 4 days a week, 30 minutes to get going and make that part of who you are.
I love what you were saying on the panel too about, we're given this body and it can last a long time if we just look after it and appreciate it.
Yeah. Give it time to heal when it needs time to heal. The little things that hurt, if you get injured, you can take time off to let it heal, but you need to take time to learn why it happened. If you only let it heal and then you go back and do the same thing, you're probably going to do the same injury. So learn about your body and why what happened, and learn how to prevent that from happening again.
And you're big on recovery, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah.
Yep. Most of my runs are really easy. There's a jog, but I love it. It's fun. It's just makes me feel good. Maybe 2 days a week, 1 to 2 days a week, I'll do a hard workout, and then 1 to 2 days a week, I'll do a long run.
Do you add in any strength building?
I have been a little bit. I've gotten kind of lazy about that, but I also live on my little farm, and so there's pushing hay around, and there's mucking out the barn, and carrying feed around, and I also have a garden, so I'm lifting a lot and shoveling and stuff. So that's kind of my basic strength training, but I also go to a gym. I try to go twice a week just to do some work that I do with a physical therapist that helps keep my weaknesses in balance. And I also do yoga restore. Yoga restore. Just the it's just an hour of really long stretches and everything's on the floor. For me to do like a more active yoga, it's like I don't need another workout.
Because some yoga can be really intense.
Yeah, exactly. And that if you love that and that's what you do, then that's awesome. For me,
I suppose you're already stressing your muscles out with the running.
Yeah,
and it's quite nice just to let
down. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because at home I'll stretch for a while, but I never do it as long as a class. So I have to go to a class and shut the door. She can't leave.
I must ask you too, pre-run stretch routine. What does that look like for you?
I actually don't have one.
No? No, not even a jog? Little jog?
Oh, you mean before a race?
Yeah.
Oh, before a race. Yes, I will warm up probably 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'll do some dynamic stretching just to make sure that everything is, all range of motion has been acknowledged.
Yes.
And activated so that I'm ready to run, not start off as a jog, but actually get ready to run. Yeah.
And then post-stretch?
A little, I usually just have to stretch my hips out. It depends really on how long the race is and how, like if it's a 100-miler, it's like just lay down. It's like nothing will help. It hurts so bad. And no stretching.
You'll probably cramp.
No,
so you go into a stretch.
Exactly. It's like the body's done. 100K will be a little bit not so bad. So I'll probably do a little stretching and hopefully get into the hot springs.
Yes. Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah. So how long are you in New Zealand for?
Until next Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be in Christchurch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You're going down south.
Yeah.
Christchurch. You'll love it. Have you been there before?
I have. Yep. I have a friend from the first time I was in New Zealand in 1982.
Yes.
We've kept in touch all these years, and she has a place in Christchurch, so I'll be there for a place.
Oh, beautiful. And then off home.
Yeah. Back to the cold.
No, we're having a good summer this year, so we'll be able to show you our beautiful country. But Thank you so much,
You're
Meghan, for
welcome.
making the time to sit down and chat with
Absolutely.
me
It's
and
been an
share
honor.
your knowledge with the girls, and you know, especially touching on the easy way into it. Give yourself time, 30 minutes a day, and it doesn't have to be running that you're doing. It can be anything like the yoga, the planning, prep. It just don't put the pressure on yourself to just go out and run. I have a gift for you. This is beer from Deep Creek, which is where I come from in Whakaroa, and a cap, and a Go Run Girls running journal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's for you. So do you drink beer?
I do.
Oh, good.
Love beer.
I saw a couple of girls
This is
on the channel.
my husband would probably like the beer.
Right,
Not
yeah,
taking
so
it
I don't know if it'll make it home. That might be your celebratory drink, maybe.
It's true.
You don't drink it like Camille does on
Not during a race.
No.
I would fall over.
So would I.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Marie.
Take care.
You too.
See you, girls.